What is going on, everybody? Welcome into Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel, Season 3, Week 8 in the NFL. As always, I got all my people here, so we're going to get right to it. This first guy I'm bringing on, you know, I just don't understand how this man continually gets visibility with his team, but we're going to find out. This game is over in London, so it only is, it's a very interesting dynamic of what may or may not happen. My man under review with Jordan Long is in the building. Jordan, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. My team isn't, but hey, you know what? I'm here every week just talking about them.
All right. Well, you're 2-5, sir. You're heading over to London to face the Jacksonville Jaguars, who also are 2-5. But talk to me about your matchup, sir.
So I am not worried about the Broncos defense or my defense. I mean, we have a top five defense going into this game. We are second in the league in total yards. We only give up 286 yards per game. So that's going to make the Jacksonville defense work or offense work a little bit. We're second in that league in the league. Jacksonville is going to have a tough time passing our defense. We don't give up many passing yards at 173.1 yards per game, second in the league. This defense plays great coverage. We've got Patrick Surtain, who, by the way, is one of the best young cover corners in the league. Now, that won't allow their receivers, that is the Jacksonville receivers, to be open downfield for large gains. Basically, Trevor Lawrence is going to have to use the checkdowns. Those should be 5 to 6 yard passes. But you know what? We still have to stop their running game, and that's where they're going to have a little success. We give up 112.9 yards per game on the ground. They rush for 137.4 yards per game. What I really am concerned about is our offense. We are not scoring. We can go down the field, but we can't score. We have to put up points. We're an NFL worst, 14.3 points per game. Now, if we end up losing this game, that seat for Nathaniel Hackett is only going to go get hotter with cries for him to get fired, even though that I don't think so. Luckily, we have a bye week next week.
All right. So, Jordan, I won't see you for about 2 weeks, my brother, but best of luck to you. Although Jacksonville has a very, very high percentage of winning when they are over at Wembley Stadium. It's like their second home. But, my brother, thank you so much. I'm going to holler at you. See you.
All right. Thank you, Eric.
All right, so let me get my man in here. Seattle Seahawks own, my man Trey is in the building because he is facing a team that a lot of people did not think were going to be as high as they are in the New York Football Giants. Trey, what's up, man?
What's going on? Sorry, I'm walking a little bit, but I
Oh
can
no,
always
it's
walk
all
and
good.
talk.
It's all good. So, man, you're hosting the 6-1 New York Football Giants this week, my brother. Talk to me about your matchup.
Nothing game is easy. No game is simple. Simple enough as it is. We're going against a Giants team that recently just traded one of their wide receivers, Kadarius Toney, to the Kansas City Chiefs. Uh, but the game plan is always simple. You saw Kenneth Walker go absolutely crazy against this defense of Los Angeles last week. The goal is to keep that motivation, keep that drive going. Let Geno cook is I think that should be the new slogan for Seattle because Geno has been cooking and he has yet to really fall off. Finally, no DK this upcoming week, but we got to figure out next man up is always got to have the mentality. You always got to continuously put up points, got to continuously just get that first down, take pressure off of Geno, take pressure off of Kenneth. So we're probably going to see a little bit more no more of the tight ends this upcoming week. But by the end of the day, no matter how simple or how sloppy it is, no matter who we're facing, the Giants are a great team, great organization. They have a winning culture starting to brew. But the job is always the end result is always trying to get that dub, and it may not be pretty, may have to be a grinded out game, but we know Seattle has that opportunity, has that persona.
Fair enough, my brother. Listen, I wish you the best of luck because this team is truly on a tear, but I'm going to holler at you.
Yes, sir. See you later.
All right, see ya. So before I get to my brother who is, my New York Giants brother, I got to talk to this guy because his man is back in the building. Not only is he back in the building, but he's back on the field. And my hope is that he sustains the rest of this season. But the one thing you can't argue is that when Tua Tagovailoa is under center, the Miami Dolphins are a winning team. Let me get my man Blue Hawk 13's own, Mr. Jon Shearer in the house. What's up, John?
Hey, yeah, I mean, there's so much going on with this game between the Dolphins and the Lions. The Dolphins have so many injuries when it comes to the defensive backs. Brandon Jones, who is the one of the best young safeties in the game. He's done for season towards ACL, which is an absolute shame because he's a fantastic player. So the Dolphins not only have injuries to him, all their defensive backs are basically banged up except Javon Holland. So the one thing the Lions can do is they can throw on you. And Amon-Ra St. Brown is healthy. He's just got to get out of the concussion protocol. Doesn't have a concussion. He just got hit with ataxia, which means he has to get out of the concussion protocol despite not having a concussion. Make it make sense. So that's the one thing the Lions can do on you. If healthy, they can throw on you. The Dolphins have defensive backs that are hurt, so the Lions can keep up with you. We see it in a track meet. So it's kind of a trap game for the Dolphins. They can't go easy on the Lions. They gotta do what they did to the Steelers the first couple of series and just start fast. The Lions defense is really, really bad. And if the Dolphins can get up big, I think that they can take out the Lions. But it is a trap game. Got to watch out, because the Lions can put up points on you in a hurry, especially at home.
Okay. Well, John, my brother, best of luck to you up there in Ford Field. It is getting to be a little colder up there. Not sure if your Miami Dolphins guys are going to be, good for that weather. But luckily, it is in a dome, so we'll see how it plays out, my friend. I'm going to holler at you, John. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Much love, my brother. So we do have a Thursday night football matchup, and typically I save this guy for the end of the show because not only brings knowledge, but he also brings a very unique perspective on how his Baltimore Ravens play each and every week. And he always brings that just a little bit of attitude that kind of has you wondering. But as someone wise once said to me, don't let his confidence hurt your insecurity. This is my man, Thursday night football with JJ is in the building. JJ, what's up, brother? I figured you'd be down here in the Tampa Bay area supporting your Ravens, but I see you relaxing up there.
Yeah, I'm up here, man. I wasn't feeling too well, but I'm here now for tonight's game.
I appreciate you, my brother. Hey, real quick, talk to me about it because you're 4-3. Tom Brady and the Bucks 3-4. What's going on, man?
Hey, listen, man. This looks like a game that we should win, but it's just we've been very inconsistent lately. One thing that is a big problem for us, and it showed last week, was finishing in the red zone. We get down there, we get field goals, but we don't get touchdowns. And against a guy like Brady, you got to score touchdowns because when you have a team that has a defense that's kind of suspect like mine's, he'll get some chances to figure it out and in the end score touchdowns. For us, we just need to what looks like a game that looks like we should be able to dominate with them not having Antoine Whitfield, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Carlton Davis. The consistency's not there, but I look for with Rashad Bateman back, Mark Andrews back, Lamar and Mark are going to get back on track. But Lamar, it's got to figure itself out. But I just need Lamar to start really just focusing on that footwork again, get that feet back on track. And we can really, with Gus Edwards back into the fold, Ronnie Stanley's getting healthier again, we have a chance to really get on track and enforce our will on this team, which it's going to be a close game, but I do think the Ravens will win. I got this game around like that 17-14 type range because as bad as Baltimore's defense has been, it's played fairly well the last couple of weeks. And Tampa Bay's offense hasn't looked that great. So if you keep everything in front of you, you don't give up the big play, you give yourself a good chance to win. And it looks like the Baltimore Ravens have a good chance to win this game.
Wow, 17-14. Now listen, that's a lot more of a factual game than I think a lot of people are thinking, because I think that a lot of people are going to think one of these two teams is really going to ball out because they need that spark as we begin to go into the second half of the season. But more realistic, like I said, always bring that energy and just a little bit of that attitude, which I love. My man JJ Jenkins, my brother, I'm gonna holler at you, sir. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
No worries. All right, so I'm going to move over to the NFC South really quick because, ladies and gentlemen, they got their second win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week, and I am, as most people, were in shock by this. 21-3. Let that marinate for a minute. The Carolina Panthers, after firing Matt Rule, after sending Christian McCaffrey to the San Francisco 49ers, they beat Tom Brady and the Bucks. But that, in fact, is what happened. So I have to get my friend Jen Lewis in the building. Jen, What's up? You are now facing the Atlanta Falcons, yet another divisional game for you. So, Jen, talk to me about your matchup this week, your second NFC South divisional matchup against the Atlanta Falcons.
The depleted secondary Atlanta Falcons. Okay, I will. Um, does the Falcons, do they have a defense? I'm just curious. I think we're gonna do fine. I am somewhat apprehensive only because Atlanta has had our number since inception, since 1995, to be perfectly candid with you. However, I will say, Christian, I miss you. Can't wait to see you back on our field. I'm hoping in a year and a half. Just saying, putting that out there. I do think that, as Megan knows, Eric, as you know, anybody who watches the NBA Carousel, I'm a big proponent of positivity wins. Matt Rule was not positive. However, Coach Wilkes is. Coach Wilkes was part of that team that led us to a 15-1 season. Coach Wilkes knows how to win. He brought back keep pounding. He knows that mantra. He knows what pushes these guys, these players. He knows it. Positivity wins in the end. People are saying, oh, it's all Tom Brady in the offense. That's why they stuck. No. Did y'all watch that game? Literally, there were two amazing games this past weekend. It was the Chiefs and 49ers, and it was the Panthers-Bucks game. Our D has not looked that good in 2.5 years, and we have a good D. I've always said that. Our D was on them. Our D will be on the Falcons offense. I have no doubt in my mind that what comes what may will not do it. We also have PJ Walker, whom I've had heated debates with. I like a lot. He will be fine. He will be great. He gives it his heart and soul. And I've always liked PJ, even when he was here the first time around before he went to the XFL. I like PJ.
All right.
PJ is keep pounding, baby.
There you go. We're going to see how you fare. Like I said, your second divisional matchup against, as you said, a depleted Atlanta defense, but Atlanta still looks good. And I think right now, you, the Bucks, the Falcons, you're all vying for that number one spot. We'll see at the end of the year who comes out on top. Miss Jen
It'll
Lewis,
be
thank
us,
you so
baby.
much. I'll talk to
I
y'all
don't see a
next week.
Super Bowl run. I don't. I'm not delusional, but it'll be us on top in the NFC South.
Okay.
I'm not delusional.
All right. I'll talk to you next week. Thank you, Jen.
Thanks.
So let me get my man really quick. My man has graced us with his presence. And let me just say this, Mike Carrottenuto.
Man.
I want to be in your corner this week with Arizona. And I would be if I just had more faith in your defense, because I know what Dalvin Cook can do.
Right.
I know what Justin Jefferson can do. And you know, as much as I can't stand him, he is translating into wins right now. But it's Arizona, Minnesota. Mike, talk to me.
Well, Eric, I think that that Kirk Cousins, your favorite, messed with my internet. That's why I'm on my phone here. But anyway, to say the least, yeah, I'm with you. Look, the Cardinals defensively, I talked about it last week. They were 23rd in every in the big three categories in turnovers, sacks, and yards allowed. In turnovers, thanks to the Saints, though, Eric, they did jump up to tied for third with 5 turnovers. So the defense, again, it's not going to be the same. Again, Andy Dalton is Andy Dalton at this point of his career, but Kirk Cousins, and you're right, man, the defense is going to have to ball out. They've been decent against the run overall since pretty much, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs came into Glendale, Eric, and destroyed the Cardinals in week 1. But look, I like what the defense is doing. It's going to be tough with Dalvin Cook, and you're right, because you know that the Vikings are going to challenge them. Also, with my guy too, Justin Jefferson, Eric, we know that. So to me, it's one of those things where if they can somehow, I'm not going to say stop, but contain Cook and Jefferson to somewhat human games, they do have a chance. But in Minnesota, Eric, man, it's going to be tough. But hey, at least DeAndre Hopkins is back, because we know he'll get another 14 targets, my friend.
Exactly. And that's what I'm hoping for.
Yes.
It's going to be, I still haven't made my pick for that game yet, and it's going to be hard pressed for me. But
Eric, let me ask you one thing. Are you really, I mean, I know it's been talked about, but Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray snapping at each other. Like, is it just because of this day and age of cameras? Like, ever since our boy T.O., literally, you and I talked about it back then.
Yes.
T.O. goes crazy,
and the world
on
loses
the
their
sideline,
mind.
on the Cowboys sidelines. Like,
right.
I think it's nothing, but people want to say, oh, the Cardinals are going to be worse. I don't think so.
Mike, I attribute Kingsbury and Murray to me and you. We just go at each other, but at the end of the day, we love each other, my brother. Thank you so much, man. I'm going to holler at you. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Now, normally this is my favorite segment of the show where I bring in everybody from the NFC East. However, Couch Coach, even though he got a win last week, is not joining us. So I am going to talk to the Queen of Hoops, Miss Megan Price, and Jake Malik one-on-one really quick. Let me start with our Queen of Hoops, Megan Price, and that damn star. Oh,
I
you
love
got
it.
The Bears this week. Justin Jefferson showed me something, Megan. He's coming to Jerry World. Talk to me about your matchup.
I really feel like this has a trap game vibe to it. Just like John was saying with Miami. As much as there was a huge deficit against our game last week with Detroit, the score was 24-6. It just did not look like we could get our offense going. Definitely not in that first half. In that second half, I mean, really the fourth quarter is when we played pretty well. Now, I have a feeling that even though the Bears, they lost Robert Quinn this week to the Philadelphia Eagles, who just seems to be stacking on stacking, made a good team even better. I just don't think that Chicago is going to have enough on their defense to really give Dak a hard time. Now, do I think this is going to be the game that he gets all his energy back and this is a super high energy level game and we think, okay, Dak is back? No, I don't think so. Zeke is going to be out, and all we're going to have is Tony Pollard on our running back position. Now, Tony Pollard did look good last week, but Zeke had 2 touchdowns. Zeke has a grade 2 MCL sprain, and it's looking like it's going to be a few weeks before we see him. I would say likely at least 4 to 6 weeks. Now, last year, we saw him play through a knee injury, the exact same knee. This is not that type of injury. Like, he's going to have to sit down for a little while. And hopefully our defense comes in strong. I don't think that the Bears are a strong offensive team. And as we know, Dallas defense
does definitely stand up. But listen, as I've said previously, 2 teams I pick each week, Philadelphia and whoever's playing your damn Cowboys. So I'm all about the Bears this week. So
21-14 Dallas.
21-14 Chicago. But I'll talk to our man, Eddie B. Dub, in a minute and get his opinion. Miss Megan Price, thank you, Queen. I'll holler at you. So let me get let me clear my throat so I properly announce this correctly. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce the 6-1 New York Football Giants and my man, Mr. Jake Malik. Good evening, sir. How are you?
That is not only the 6-1 New York Giants, it's the second place 6-1 New York Giants. And I want to make that distinction because Megan was here and her Cowboys have looked good, but they're in third place.
This is very true.
Both of us. So I'm just saying, this is the true winner's circle. We are the 2 teams really at the top right now.
All right. Well, talk to me about your matchup this week, sir. What do you got going on here?
Yeah, I mean, I want to start with the fact that we traded Kadarius Toney today, and Trey brought it up. I don't care. As an analyst looking at this, it doesn't mean anything for the Giants in the way they played this season because Toney hasn't played all season. He's been injured, or as he claims, he's not hurt, but that's not here nor there. He's been hurt. So in terms of the offense, it's a trade that I like because I don't think this regime and Joe Shane and Brian Dable are too high on him. He was drafted in the last regime, so we get some draft picks back. It's great. It doesn't affect our current team, and that's why I'm okay with it. This week against the Seahawks, again, the game plan is real simple again. There's a couple things we got to do, and we proved it last week what we got to do, and I proved it every week before that. You got to contain the run game to some extent. You can't let them run all over you, and that's going to be hard because Kenneth Walker III has looked lights out. You can't let him just take control of the game. Geno has looked good, but this Giants defense is good. All they got to do, they are a top 10 defense. All they have to do is contain them to a reasonable amount of points. I would say 21 points is the max by the third quarter. If by the third quarter, let's say the score is 21-14, Giants got this game all in their right in their court the way they want it. The Seahawks on defense, they haven't been great at all, and especially against the run. I mean, I say it every week, but Saquon Barkley is the lifeblood of this team. Daniel Jones makes enough plays to win the games. Saquon Barkley goes out and puts the team on his back. If the Seahawks can't stop the run, Saquon Barkley could run all over them again. Just have another monster game because that's what he does. I think that's a Giants game plan, and it's real simple. Have the defense do their thing, play well enough, keep us in it. Let Saquon Barkley do his thing, and Daniel Jones, hey, just make enough plays to win this game, my man.
I mean, listen, not having DK is not a
No, it's
it's
not a big
definitely an
problem.
advantage in favor of the what could possibly be the 7-1 New York Football Giants, second place in the best division in all of football, the NFC Beast.
Absolutely.
My man Jake Malik, brother, I'm gonna holler at you. Thank you so much, man. I'll see you. All right, let me go over to my friend, Chicago Bear fan, because I need him to understand, much like I said to the one and only Dom DeRubis about his Lions. Ben, I am in your corner this week, bruh. I am the Bears all weekend long, minus when Philly plays, and I'll talk about my team in a minute, man. But you're facing Dallas. But Justin Fields looked good on Monday night. So talk to me about your matchup going into Jerry World.
Man, Justin Fields looked really good. 4 fumbles, but it was wet. He got knocked around a couple times, and so it was some weird fumbles. And he maintained possession of the ball. Like, Bears got it back. So I'm willing to overlook that. That's really the only negative you can take away from this game. I kind of got a little vibe that, hey, they're going to collapse here, go down 14-10 after, storming out to the lead. But this team has become a second-half team, something that Bears fans are not used to. I still can't believe that happened on Monday Night Football in New England. Going into Dallas this week, though, there's a lot to be hopeful for. Obviously, a defense is taking a hit, losing Robert Quinn to the Eagles. But the offense is finally looking like it's clicking. The defense, I don't think, is going to miss too much of a step here. Dak Prescott looked not so great. It was a very conservative game plan for the Cowboys this past week. And yeah, only having to focus on Tony Pollard. I'm a big Tony Pollard fan, big Memphis fan. Got to support my Memphis guys. But when he's the only back they got back there, that makes the job that much easier for the defense. I'm curious to see how this one's going to go. I'm also curious to see if maybe, the Bears are sitting a couple of guys, see, who might be traded next. But I like the way this team's going. I like the direction they're headed. I think the Bears have a very good chance of winning this game because, let's face it, I did not think they had a shot on Monday either.
I did.
I still picked them. I still picked them. Don't get me wrong. I still picked them,
But all right, so let's see what happens, man. You got I won't say a tall task in front of you. I just know that, everybody in Philly is supporting you and the Bears this week to go into Jerry World and beat up on, Dak Prescott. They don't have Zeke. That defense, if you guys do the RPO, you know what I'm saying? Run at Micah Parsons, you can shut him down or at least bring him down to a bit of a subhuman level. We'll see what happens. But my brother, thank you so much, my man. I'm going to holler at you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Eric.
So let me get my man in here because just like my man Ben, look, man, I know you didn't get it done last week, and that's fine.
I apologize sincerely.
No, and that's fine. But you need to stick it to John this week, okay? Because they come into your house. So talk to me about your matchup against the Miami Dolphins.
Well, I'm not particularly scared of the Dolphins. Yes, Tua's back. About the only 2 things I'm afraid of with the Dolphins are Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. That will be a very good test to see just exactly how far Jeff Okudah has come and if Amani Oruwariye is even halfway back. Last week against Dallas, the defense started to get healthy again. We got John Kaminsky back. We finally saw Josh Pascal. Aiden Hutchinson showed up again, remembered that he was a top 5 first-round pick from last year. He had a couple sacks. Defense played very well, kept us in the game, and the offense was atrocious. It was only a matter of time before we saw Goff and his baby hands and those fumbles start to rear their ugly heads. And he did twice. He also threw 2 picks in the fourth quarter. Jamal Williams had his first fumble of his career, which actually I saw it happening in my head and on the field, and I'm like, don't say anything. Don't even think it. Next play, fumble. But this week, we should be getting DeAndre Swift back. Amon-Ra St. Brown is out of concussion protocol. He will be playing. And There, like I said, there's nothing that I'm too overly impressed about with the Dolphins. They're an average middling team with an average middling quarterback with an average middling record. I'm glad that Tua is healthy. I hope he has a long and healthy and productive career, but I'm not particularly concerned. Like, this is one of those get right. Miami looks at it as a trap game, but I just think we can beat them because the clock is starting to tick on you, Mr. Dan Campbell, and you really need to get a win like now and maybe string a few together or you're going to be on the hot seat.
Wow. All right. Strong words coming from my man Dom. My brother, thank you so much. I'm gonna holler at you, man. See ya. All righty. So let me jump back to the NFC South because Jen Lewis did talk about the Carolina Panthers, but my man Joe Carlino talked to me about your Atlanta Falcons matchups. He said your Atlanta Falcons defense is kind of non-existent, but talk to me about your matchup, sir.
Well, I mean, she kind of has a point. I mean, our defense has basically been shot up in the secondary. A.J. Terrell is probably going to be out. No Casey Hayward after last week. No Jalen Hawkins this week. I'm pretty sure Avery Williams might be having to go from running back to cornerback for this week. We don't have anybody that I've known that Atlanta's been looking at towards, signing in free agency like A.J. Boye or like I saw somebody else. The Falcoholic had like Desmond Trufant or Robert Alford, but it's like those are just nostalgia acts at this point. The main thing that comes very simple is, I mean, PJ Walker did really impressive last week against a very, 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 very bad Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that shouldn't even deserve to be playing football right now because of a roughing the passer to their little golden child across the street from where I'm standing right now. But the main thing is, I want to see if the offense can maybe evolve the passing game. I mean, we're playing the Panthers twice in the next 3 weeks, including a Thursday night game against them in Carolina. This game is in Atlanta. It's going to be at the Benz. And a lot of people are starting to call for Desmond Ridder. Now, I personally think he is the quarterback of the future. I don't want C.J. Stroud. I don't want Bryce Young. I want this kid. And I don't know if he might see the field this Sunday. It's possible. But at the same time, Atlanta's favored. When's the last time we heard Atlanta being favored in a football game, Eric?
Very true, my brother. Very true. Hey, keep doing your thing up there, man. If you hear any chance of Tampa Bay, just kind of block them out tonight. But my brother, I'm gonna definitely holler at you.
I'm Baltimore all day tonight, baby.
I'll see you, man. Thanks.
See you, guy.
All right, so I got to transition really quick to the AFC North again. I heard from my man JJ because he is a Thursday night matchup. Here is our man Daniel Baquetigo talking about his Pittsburgh Steelers.
The Steelers are in Philadelphia this week to take on Eric Wilson's 6-0 Philadelphia Eagles. And from the Steelers' perspective of this week, you see the offense is just really forcing too many throws there from Kenny Pickett last week. You expect the offense to be much better this week overall because the defense has stopped great offenses the past 2 weeks now with Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins, high-powered offense, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are pretty solid even though they lost to the Carolina Panthers the last week. The defense has been playing very well without the presence of TJ Watt, who's just opened the 21-day window for his return, and he could be back by week 10 against the Bengals. But enough of that. We'll talk about the offense, though. The Steelers, Najee Harris does not look good, but Kenny Pickett and George Pickens really have this big connection that we're going to see in Pittsburgh for years to come. And I'd expect that connection to come through here this week with the presence of Pat Freiermuth and attack that secondary. Will the Steelers win this week? We'll see. It might be a drop game for the Philadelphia Eagles after coming off that bye week and after we're heading to the bye week after this week. So we'll see how both teams perform, but I expect, though, the Steelers to make it close at the very least in this one. They might come out with a win, but they're going to have to force turnovers, unlike last week where they drop a lot of interceptions.
Listen, it's very hard to argue with that young man because he brings up a lot of good points. But what I will say is after a bye, the Philadelphia Eagles have a very, very high winning percentage coming off of a bye. Now, listen, we're 6-0, and all I've asked from this team this year is two things. Be consistent, beat the Cowboys. I'm very impressed by what I've seen. But at some point, Kenny Pickett, George Pickens, Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, And that Pittsburgh offense is going to start getting things together. They are going to start rolling. And what we've seen over the last 2 weeks is that this team has shown up and made games. They have not been embarrassed. They have played their hearts out. So it's going to be very, very, very close. And I completely agree with Daniel about this team. Here's the thing. We're home. If this was in what used to be Heinz Field, then maybe it would be, I might have a little bit of apprehension, but listen, I'm nervous each and every week because right now, everybody playing us wants to be the team to say they beat us. And no one from Detroit all the way to Dallas has been able to say that. So it's going to be very telling how we come off of our bye week, what we look like, and is that same energy still there? Is that same momentum still there? What I will say to you is this thing, and I'll end it with this. My man on that right side made it very clear today on social media. Lane Johnson, ladies and gentlemen, is back. So get ready if you are the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. We'll see what happens. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us here tonight on Alex Fleming's Carousel. Season 3, Week 8. Everyone have a blessed evening. We will definitely holler at y'all next week. Everybody stay blessed. Peace.